Hey, all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals, I Tank, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, August 21st, and this is episode 231 of the Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Vegan Pete, and I swear that Avi is still a part of the show, but she is still dealing with a case of what now I'm going to dub chronic laryngitis. So once again, she's only here in spirit. She won't be bringing those honey smooth vocals to you, but fear not, we do have another guest host this week, returning once again from Moogle Go Round Radio. We have Mr. Paul Metal.
Yo, what good?
Thank you so much once again, Paul, for staying up late and joining me for the show tonight.
Anytime.
And a big thank you to everyone joining us here tonight over at twitch.tv/SheHealsITank. It's a fun time joining us live. You can let us know what you think about the topics we're covering in the comments, or you can even join the Discord and call into the show to let us know what you think. We haven't had some calls in a while, but we are going to be discussing MSQ tonight. So if you want to get your MSQ thoughts heard, go ahead and call in while we're talking about the MSQ. We'll see what you have to say. So that is your spoiler warning for tonight. We are going to be talking about the MSQ. This episode will contain spoilers. Do you get much mail about spoilers, Paul? Like in case you actually accidentally say something? Is that probably your most common thing you get emails about?
We don't get emails at all. Yeah, like what Chili said in chat is like, what's mail?
We don't get
we usually just do it 2 weeks after. We do it exactly 2 weeks after.
Yeah, we're like a week and a half in. We don't get too much mail either, but when we do, man, if we ever accidentally let a spoiler fly, that is when the emails come in. But thank you everyone tonight. We are talking about spoilers. We need to shout out our subscribers this week because without them, we couldn't keep the lights on here. We've got Jerva54 and Urban Voodoo for first-time subs, CXC Decibels 3 months, Disco Cub 10 months, Cater Pants 12 months, and Voxna7 for 14 months. And like I said, we do have a lot to talk about today. We're going to be tackling patch 5.3 MSQ, but before we do that, we have everyone's favorite segment,
Greenleaf Minute!
That is correct, Mr. Metal. It's the Greenleaf Minute. And this week is all about the Faux Hollows. I have been getting the occasional question about what it is and is it worth doing Shiva Unreal for. So, Paul, you have done this as well, correct?
Yep, did it with you.
Yes, did it with me. So first, what is it? It's a little mini game that unlocks once you beat Shiva Unreal. And Paul, let me have your opinion on Shiva Unreal. We've done this now 2 weeks in a row. How are you enjoying or maybe not enjoying that fight?
I mean, it's okay. It's a little brain dead. Like, it is literally just a tank and spank. Like, the tanks do all the job. All you guys need to do is just a DPS or healer to spread out. That's mechanics. It's just a buffed up version of Shiva Extreme for me.
It is, but do you not think it's in the right level for what it is though? Like for the rewards, which is the Faux Hollows. I don't think they could make this something that's super difficult.
Yeah, I think it's I think a lot of casuals would find it challenging because it is a DPS check. Because DPSing is a part of the daily life of this, but
yeah, I gotta say you did call it a tank and spank, but there were a couple times when we had a decent amount of deaths that we ran into that DPS check and we didn't pass it. So you do have to pay attention to this. This is not something that you're just gonna eye roll through. Maybe those that are used to raiding and have their DPS rotations down, their healers on point. But for the average player, I think this is still a pretty good challenge.
Yeah, I think this will get people into raiding. So if
Yes.
you're a casual and you want to try your luck, I would definitely go just try this. If you do the DPS nice and you think you're ready, you can go into do Savage, I think.
Yeah, and this should definitely not intimidate you. I don't consider this harder than any other extreme that we've done. So I think Scorinus kind of described it as a middle ground between extreme and savage, and I don't think it's a middle ground. I think it's much, much closer, if not easier, than normal extremes. It's definitely not closer to savage.
With normal extremes, though, they do have their own little kind of better mechanics wise.
Yeah, but
with this, it's more of just if you know the extreme, you know every mechanic.
But I think that's what it is. It's like, to me, going into Shiva at level 50 when it was first out, to me, it's basically the same as doing the Unreal now. So it doesn't seem like the original was any harder than what it is now. So for me, I'm very much enjoying it. And for something that you can really only do 1 to 2 times a week, I think it's a good difficulty, because I don't want to bang my head against something else besides Savage. But like I said, beating Shiva Unreal each week is going to unlock the Faux Hollows. And to play this, you're going to be turning over tiles to reveal pictures, and what you uncover determines the amount of faux leaves you get, which can be turned in for rewards. And I think the important thing to know is if you uncover the picture that is a 2 swords crossing, you get the opportunity to beat Shiva Unreal again and play Faux Hollows again. You can only do this once, though, so you can play a max of 2 times a week. So in my opinion, if you uncover part of the pair of swords early, you should go ahead and uncover it. After that, you can start searching for the pictures that can give you the faux leaves. And there's always going to be a 4-tile picture that rewards you either 10 or 20 leaves, depending on which one you get. And then there's a slim chance you get a 1x1 tile of a little fox face that is worth 100 leaves. So how have you done on your rewards so far, Paul?
I have only got the swords.
Just the swords? You haven't got any of the 4-tile ones as well?
Nope.
So
kind of sad, but
I've gotten the 4-tile one twice, so I have 20 leaves total. But I've always found those first. I think I need to uncover the sword first, because you can kind of guess where the sword is since it's so large. So I think my strategy going forward is going to be to unlock the sword first and then try to get the 4-tile piece to get that second shot at it. Avi, I wish she was on here today, because last week she got the swords and a 20, I believe, to start out with. And then on her second go through, she got the 4-tile one worth 20, and she ended up nailing the fox face worth 100 leaves. So she ended up getting 140 leaves last week.
Yeah, so if she keeps doing it every week, she'll be able to get the mount very soon.
Yes. So the mount takes 600 or 650. I forget exactly which. Demakase saying, what's the reward? Leaves? So not leaves as in leaves that you spend to do crafting and gathering leaves or guild leaves. Leafs, Leafs, it's just a currency like you would get from the beast tribes or something like that. So you're getting the leaves, and then you're going to be turning those in for rewards. And the best reward right now from this is I don't know how to say this, Incitatus whistle, which is the unicorn mount with a light green mane. And a little history when I was looking up whatever this word was. Incitatus was the favorite horse of the Roman Emperor Caligula. Did you know that, Paul? I'm assuming you did.
No.
No, didn't know that?
No, didn't know.
There is also a Sand Fox minion that looks like the fox that you play Faux Hollows with. And there is a Kate Sith neckerchief. Those are the big rewards. You can also get cracked Stella and Planocluster Planoclusters and magic Mandragora prisms, which I don't know really why you would want. I guess hopefully they add more rewards to this as we get more Unreal trials.
Oh well, they probably will because the mount is based on Shiva-ish, even though the green I don't get.
Yeah, it looks more like a Garuda mount.
Yeah, it looks more Garuda-y, but it's literally just the Nightmare pony just reskinned and recolored.
With a horn.
That's what it basically is. With a horn. Didn't Nightmare have a horn? I swear Nightmare had a horn.
Did it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think Nightmare had a horn.
I thought it was just like the other ponies, but with fire or something.
It was like black and red. No, purple, I think. Is it black and purple? Oh, no, I don't have it on this character. I have it on EU.
I thought it was just a horse. I didn't think it had the horn, but I could be mistaken. But yeah, overall, if you get lucky like Avi did, you can rack up those leaves pretty quickly. For me, it's been a slow going. I've only gotten the 10-point ones each time, so I only have 20 leaves total, while she's sitting damn near close to 200, and Paul's sitting at 0 apparently.
No, I got 10 because you get 5 for getting the swords.
Oh, you get 5 for getting the swords. See, I did not know that.
So I got the swords twice, and so that gave me 10.
I thought you just got to replay with the swords, but apparently you get 5 and you get to replay. So that's pretty awesome. So definitely, if you like on the first tile turn, if you get the swords, I would recommend uncovering the rest of the swords, and then you can go searching for the other ones. But overall, I'm liking the Unreal Trials and the Faux Hollows. Something to build on. I was talking on stream the other night. I kind of hope they experiment a little bit more, opposed to just doing primals. I would love to have a Labyrinth of the Ancients Unreal.
That would be fun.
Like just
boosted up Labyrinth.
Yeah, boost up the Labyrinth, make it so you actually have to do mechanics in there again. What a novel concept, right? Having to do mechanics.
Do mechanics? Oh, I haven't done that in so long. What? Not even in the new release. Don't really have many mechanics.
That'd be so funny the first time. Like everyone that started playing after like you could go in there and not have to do any mechanics at all, they go into the Unreal and just get fucking smashed by every mechanic, would be so fucking funny to me.
I still remember those days because I started playing when it was actually like on content to do it, and you had to actually do it every week to get an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get your sands and stuff. And I remember like it used to be an absolute shit show. It's like, the bone dragon was the annoying one because they would never kill the skeletons in time, and I'm like,
Everyone now is like, why are you trying to pull that skeleton to the edge? And I'm like, because that's what we used to do.
That was mechanics, man. You wouldn't know.
But man, I would love if they expand on the Unreal, going above and beyond just some old primals. I'm assuming we're probably going to get Titan next, though.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Titan or Ifrit.
I hope it's Titan. I like Titan more than Ifrit.
Same.
But man, I really want Labyrinth. I hope we get that eventually.
Buffed up Labyrinth. That'd be great. Savage Labyrinth. Like an 8-man dungeon. Let's go.
Oh, I would like an 8-man. Like the only thing they would have to change is make it so you don't have to have so many people on those pads during that one part.
Yeah.
Or
just get rid of that part completely and just go to the boss.
Yeah, because the mechanic is just getting 4 people to stand on that pad, really.
Oh, that's...
That can be pretty brutal when you have people not knowing what to do, too. Then you just have people yelling in chat, stand on the pads!
Yeah, because it's now required, because you can't actually like do the main scenario. You can't carry on with the main scenario without doing Labyrinth.
And that's like the perfect opportunity. Either make an Unreal one, or at least drop the eye level down so you have to do mechanics. Like the eye level sync. Don't make it whatever it is, 190 or whatever. Drop it down like 150. Who knows?
I think that'd be good. Just throw it back down. Just...
Icarus is saying, haven't done that Faux Hollow stuff yet. Been focusing on doing dwarf stuff. I finally got the Mount daily quest. I'm flying in a tank. I think I get that today. I haven't done mine today. What about you, Paul? How about the dwarves? You been doing any?
I've been doing the dwarves. I've kept up with the dwarves. The amount I've seen so many memes on the amount of how it doesn't change size and it doesn't scale
Oh,
with
really?
people. Yeah.
So you got a big old Rogadin in there looking the same as Lalafell?
Yeah, and then you got the Rothgar that's like has to like lay on top of it because they can't fit in the little hole.
That is hilarious.
You got the Lalafells you can barely see. You can see their little tiny head just peering out of the top.
That's a job security right there. That's how they made it so only the dwarves can like be the operators of the tank. They're like, this is not scaling. We're only making them one size. Only us are going to be able to operate these tanks. Job security.
It's pretty great. I wish we had more like that in the mount, like diversity. I think that's cool.
I think we have plenty of mounts.
Now we need more.
I don't even know what mount to use anymore. Stick to my chocobo. I stick to my chocobo most of the time. Lately, I've been doing the roulette.
I love my Nightmare Pegasus. The first ever mount I felt like I earned. That was my Nightmare Pegasus.
From farming all. Wait, was Nightmare from farming all of them, or that was just a random drop when we were doing them, right?
No, Palace of the Dead.
Oh, that was Palace of the Dead?
Yeah, I got to floor 200 with a group, and I got 2 out of the golden things. I got 2. I sold 1, kept 1. Sold 1 for, I think it was 15 mil back on Behemoth.
Okay.
Great. Now I don't have that money because I had to move back to EU. And this was the times they couldn't take that much gil over. So I had to like give it away or just buy stuff.
I remember that mount now because I was doing Palace of the Dead. Avi really wanted it, so I got the whistle. I gave it to her. And then later on, I was going through it again, like much later on, where I had even forgot, and I kind of assumed I already had the mount. So I got another drop, and I gave it to one of the people doing it with us. And then I went to bring out my Nightmare mount when he brought his out, and I did not have the Nightmare mount. So I had to do it all over again and get my Nightmare mount for the 3rd time before I actually had it.
It's like, I want to do it solo just because I want the Necromancer title. And this will come up in when we talk about the story, but I really want the Necromancer class. And I've really been thinking like how they could implement skills into it. Like, I really want that. If Necromancer came out, I would probably play that the most. It's the closest thing I'll ever get to being a blood mage at all. Like, come on, give me Necromancer.
They were definitely a lot of potential hits on or hints on jobs we could get in the next expansion in this 5.3 MSQ. So let's get a little closer to that, and let's do the tweet of the week. Avi's favorite segment, and she's not even here for it. It's the tweet of the week. It is the tweet of the week, and I cheated a little bit. Picked a tweet of my own, but I put out a poll for everyone this week. I had said that Avi and I were split on if we cried during the patch 5.3 MSQ. How about you all? The options were I shed tears or my eyes stayed dry. We had 76 votes on this, and 63.2% of people said they shed tears during the MSQ, and 36.8% said their eyes stayed dry. I was on the eyes stayed dried crew. Avi was on the I shed tears. Paul, how about you?
I'm definitely on the I shed tears.
On the eyes.
And I have a stream to prove it. I sat there for 5.5 hours doing story on stream.
Nice.
So they could hear me bawling.
So yeah, 63%. That's a little more than I thought there was going to be. I thought it was going to be probably 50-50. But apparently a lot of people were affected by this. And I have some more reaction to talk about from that tweet when we get to the MSQ discussion. But now let's get to some news and notes from around the realm. Paul, you have a new event for us, right?
Well, apparently so. The Rising starting on the August the 27th. Celebrating the anniversary of Final Fantasy XIV. You'll be able to start this quest by talking to Jeddah. Don't know how to say that name, but I'm going to call her Jeddah.
I'm going to go with Jabentia.
Oh, Jembin tier. Okay.
Probably
I know
like
the tier part because obviously Graha tier.
yeah, it must be
A
a
lot, and a lot
cousin
of
of
Catboys have that.
Graha.
Well, even in was it Stormsblood, you had that guy who was also a Catboy and had tier at the end of his name. Is that just a Catboy thing? In order and picking up the quest are of glass. The blurb reads: The Rising Festival is known to bring a splash of color spelt wrong, to Ul'dah. And this, I'm sorry, I had to. every time I
Color
say it.
spent the American way with no U.
And this year, especially with the vibrant Jabatia, um, butchering that name every time it changes. I hate names.
Good Jabated.
Expansion of the stained glass evokes memories of. I'm dyslexic and reading this is getting hard. Moments in history, and he will need assistance and willing volunteers to assure the event's proceedings without a hitch. Yay!
Yes.
That sounds good.
Rising's coming back. Oh, go ahead.
And when you're completing this event, you get a wind up, Arbor minion, and a Sultan 7 painting.
And Icarus in chat is saying the Rising poster, which is the Sultana's 7 painting, says it pisses him off so much. So Icarus, let us know what about this painting is pissing you off. Paul, I linked that in the outline if you want to take a look at it. I didn't see anything offensive from it. It is the Sultana surrounded by a bunch of the... Are you offended because it's all Lalas? Are you a racist against Lalas and you're offended by them getting featured on this poster? She's surrounded by the Thaumaturge Lalas and
the Black Mage Lala. Yeah, what are you on about? These are great and standing individuals. I played Black Mage in A Realm Reborn. I know these from the Thaumaturge questline and the Black Mage questline. You know him from the Paladin questline.
Yeah,
and obviously
I think that's
you know Pippin,
Papalimo, and Pippin. Yeah. So Icarus, what is your beef with these Lalas? We gotta know. Lalas, Turk or Gerbs? Is that what you're saying? You're just mad at the Lalas representing the jobs? It's from Cater Pants. I don't know.
I'm hoping the quest this year makes up for the lame rewards. I mean, we just got a great event from the summer event that gave us new glam and a dance.
But it also gave us a really boring fate to do for it. I don't know if that makes up for it.
That is true, but it's kind of a 50. It's two-edged sword. You can either get glamour and have a shit story, or you can have a great story and get a shit reward.
I will take the great story with shit rewards 100%. But let's get into the MSQ, Paul. I think you probably remember more than I do from the little bit we talked about earlier. And you probably have some better opinions than I do. Avi's much more the MSQ, so I'm glad you're here tonight. MSQ starts off with Maren, who is the scholar from the Crystarium, who wants to talk with us, the Warrior of Light. And he's going to teach us a little bit more about the Warrior of Light title, that it's been around for centuries. It has been a synonym for hero. Something that is so old that it's been around since before Ardbert. He says it's been I'm bad with this name. Toltwheel, the first king of Lakeland, Rodfort, and Salard of Drawn and Galgant, the Drawn and Galgant duo of Vobert, Archimage Tuana of Rona, and it was a synonym for hero ages past. It wasn't until the flood that there was a negative connotation. Did you take anything away from this, or just a little nice piece of backstory?
It's a nice bit of lore, and then obviously he shows you a picture of the kind of first Warrior of Light. What I thought was really cool, because you're like, oh yeah, I know from Dissidia, I know from other games. I kind of say, like, oh yeah, that's a nice bit of nostalgia, pretty dope.
I only know it because of the helm.
Yeah,
because we got the helm in game as one of the rewards from, I don't know if it was from like a pre-order or what.
I think it was a venture, wasn't it? Yeah, the we used to have the things where you log in a certain amount of days, you get rewards.
Oh, the veteran rewards.
That's it, veteran rewards. I think you might got it from that because I've got it. It's just there. I don't
And
have it in my inventory.
yeah, I forget what it's from. I know I have it though. While we're like in the library part of the Crystarium talking to Morin, we meet Ricky Tio, who in my mind I always said Ricky Tiki Tavi. She wants to be a warrior of light with potions and healing people. An apothecary, she says, and that we're her idol. So could this be foreshadowing of a new job, apothecary or chemist? What do you think about that, Paul?
Again, was it we talked about with Chili a couple episodes of having a chemist job, chemist or slash apothecary. See, we don't know if it is a confirmed job because obviously we do have the alchemist, and that technically makes potions, but also makes other stuff like beeswax and all that. So it's not really, a set job. But I would like to see a chemist.
Yeah, say
I would love to see that.
I agree with you. Apothecary is a little too close to alchemist, so I think it would be chemist for the new job. But you never know. I have faith in Square Enix to make new jobs interesting. But with Riki Tiki Tavi, we escort her to learn from the Cherugians, and which are the healers, and I hate that word, Cherugians.
Cherugians.
We do a fetch quest for them. We're getting some grapes. She wants to be an apothecary because a traveling apothecary saved her when she was even younger. Accompanying her were two boys, Erwell and Arkle, who want to learn how to fight, so we get another quest where we have to go kill some vampire bats. Did you tie, Alice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I tied.
I think that's the only option. I tied, Avi tied. Chili says he won.
Yeah, apparently, like he said, the further you go out, you get the most. The more spawn of the further. Yeah, when you go out to the further ones, more bats spawn. So I'm gonna do that on Boob. So I have two characters I can do.
That's interesting to know. That's kind of cool. Both me and Avi only got the text for tying, so we'll have to watch the Chili stream to see what happens when you win. Our characters talk about the star shower, how it made them feel, as if there was something they had lost, need to go and find it. For Alice, say the star showers kind of equals sadness. Alphino was mistaking that it was Elidibus that sowed the seed for people to become warriors of light. The impulse to aid their fellow man abided within them from the first. Elidibus did no more than give it a name. So I thought that was a little interesting bit right there.
Well, yeah, because it's like, you're already doing it technically. The people of the Crystarium were already doing it. Already helping each other, protecting each other, fighting for each other.
It was already
he just gave it a name.
It was already in their nature.
Yeah. It's in everyone's nature, to be fair. You can even put that in real life.
Sometimes there's just some shitbirds out there. You don't know.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of shitbirds out
there. But we turn in our fetch quest and then head to the rookery to remember our friend Ardbert. We're kind of like reminiscing about him, and then all of a sudden our buddy Ardbert, played by Elidibus, or controlled by Elidibus, walks up behind us. And as he's walking behind us, we kind of see his point of view, and he views us as one of the ancients. So what did you take away from that?
Well, first of all, Elidibus had no idea why he was there.
That is true.
He was just drawn there, but that, I think, is because of the link between you and Albert. That the body was still, a little bit of Albert was still in that body, kind of.
Little bit in control.
Yeah, I kind of feel. I wouldn't say in control, just more like, that he's drawn to it, and being curious as everyone is, because curiosity killed the cat. That's where I decided to go.
But it's also very interesting that he does see us as an ancient. So just lending more evidence towards us being one of those, because I don't think it's ever truly been confirmed. It's been heavily suggested.
Well, apparently, like, was it as in the story of Shadowbringers? He said we do have a split soul. Like, we have our soul is connected with like different people. I think it was. They're from different worlds or stars or
Yes.
shards kind of thing. Because obviously we're now with Arbor, and apparently we might have been one of these as well. Yeah, with the 14th seat.
Yeah, I thought it was we are the 14th seat, but it wasn't confirmed before this, was it?
I don't think so. It sounded like they confirmed it, but
yeah, like this MSQ, it definitely was confirmed, but previously it was definitely hinted at, but not quite confirmed before this.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong. Then we get the little hit by the echo, and it's the convocation speakers. Welcome. He's saying, "Welcome to the order," speaking to Elidibus, and the text they gave was, "At times you'll stand with us, at times you will stand against us. All that you might steer mankind and the very star upon their true course. So such is the burden of hope." So giving us a little bit of insight to what Elidibus was dealing with, kind of like his main drive in life and afterlife, I suppose. And we also get that Elidibus is pretty mad at us for killing his brothers, and he gets a pretty good burn on us, saying, "You are death, and only in death shall you serve any purpose." And I think he just told us to kill ourselves.
I mean, he's not wrong. I think our character has some very bad mental issues, but you know, so far everyone around us, all of our friends, have basically died around us. We have lost so many. So yeah, he is right.
Have we lost that many?
Papalimo, Hoshifon. Who else are we? Moonbreeder. Okay, yeah, that we'll get to that.
It's been a while though.
I wish
it's a long history. People die.
Need more
it happens.
Femros.
Especially when you're dealing with war.
Yeah, we deal with Asians and that. Technically, they killed Moonbreeder first. So we get to kill them. We get to kill them.
Chili's saying long for us, not for the game. They don't really give us any sort of how long stuff is taking in the game. I don't know if it's taken 1 week. I don't know if it's taken 1 year. I don't know if it's taken 6 months. They give us no sort of, I don't know what fucking reference year we're in.
Yeah, it's like, you go back from the first, and you go back to Tyra. It's like, oh, you've only been gone for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. So no, but you've long been gone. Oh yeah, but it's been like a year in the first. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, and then there was the timey-wimey bullshit. We just need our sonic screwdriver. We'll fix it all. We do have Icarus on deck. So Icarus has schooled me on lore many times throughout this podcast. So let's bring in Icarus. Icarus, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. So, where do you want to start?
So let's not go beyond what we've talked about so far. Anything that we've already talked about, do you want to correct? Do you want to give your opinion on? What do you got for us?
Well, so in regards to some of the information that we've talked about for us in general, as far as the 14th seat, what they spell it out for us with that 14th seat thing. But the other thing that they clear up is that person who held that seat, we're not that person, which was a big sort of relief for a lot of people who were like kind of upset that they were kind of spelling out your character's backstory. It's more or less that whatever made them as far as this idea of a character who travels the world and rather than sitting in an ivory tower and fixing shit, amongst themselves. You go out and actually solve problems, make friends, and sort of the things that make the Warrior of Light the Warrior of Light is what that seat represents. And we're a shard, we're a seed from that tree.
So was there
And so
something in the story that let us know that? Is this something that it's a theory? Or
this is more along the lines of what the story is laying out, which is why I mean it clarifies that it's like, I know who you are, but you're not who I am, you know, kind of thing. With the guy who gives us the stones later. I don't want to get too far ahead from where you guys are at, but there's like in hints in the way they talk about us. You know that there's moments where some of the other Asians are like Elidibus and Emmett Cell kind of have like a moment where like, wait, is that, no, it can't be you, because in a sense they're being right, they're correct. They're like, it's not as, you know, the guy who's holding up that seed, but it is similar enough, you know.
yeah,
The color of our souls are the same.
I can definitely see that, and it seems like we got kind of a lot of souls in ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I was like, because there's all these other seats, and like that's what I was getting. Like they kind of seem like, oh yeah, you know, you're like that person, but you're not. You have your own story, but they obviously it's like a state of identity. You know, like you know, they feel that pressure from your soul. You're like, I felt that before. You know, and they're like, oh, but no, because you're different and you're fighting for other things.
And here's the other point that they make clear about why you're different. They, especially with what happens in later parts of the storyline with a certain Mikote, they make it very clear that what happened with you and Arbert should not have happened. Like, that's not possible. You merging with Arbert should not have been possible because you are two different people.
All right,
and that's the part that, like, that's a fucking mystery. And so that's where they.
It's not kind of a mystery, because my theory is our kind of power is that we can bring friends. I put in quotation mark friends. Okay, other players to fight.
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing is. Like, oh, you know, you go out and make friends, and you rely on the power of your friends to make you strong. And that's, I guess, the kind of power is like friendship. You know, we're like Sailor Moon kind of thing. You know,
something like friendship. Something like that. Like I said, it leads more to the laning that people who are dubbed Warriors of Light, really, it's just a title, but what it leads into believing that those people who we hear about in the MSQ, like Ardbert, ourselves, Tenzin, Ronka, these people who end up having these qualities as Warriors of Light do similar things as the person that held that seed. So we are seeds of the same shard, but we're not necessarily the same person. That's where it leans into that idea of it being seeds of that same shard, like an apple from that tree, rather than.
That's an interesting analogy. I'd have to go back and really examine that.
Yeah, I'm not the only one who's come up with this idea. I'm just reiterating it because it's the one that makes the most sense right now.
Okay. Well, interested in more of what you have to say. So if there's something else we get to, feel free to jump back in that on deck section, Icarus.
Sounds good.
But thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. What'd you think about that, Paul? Valid theory?
Yeah, there's some valid points there. Valid points.
I agree.
Big valid points.
Icarus has a way of being very convincing, and sometimes I think he might be just trying to fuck with me. I don't know.
Could be an Asian, you know. A lot of them have really silvery tongues, you know.
So what I've gathered from that is our body is just an orgy of shards that are in us. Where did we leave off?
The Elizabeth's talking on the balcony. the kind of background we had with him.
Okay, Elidibus talking to us on the balcony, and then the Crystal Exarch walks up, and Elidibus tries to archifont him. Tries to put like a little dagger through him, but he's unharmed. The crystal is consuming him. He gives after Elidibus kind of just fucks off. The Crystal Exarch gives a pretty hopeful speech, and he lets us know that he has a plan. That was Avi's words. I said he says a whole lot of nothing, but he has a trump card. Anything from this scene you want to get to?
Not really. It was pretty played out. Crystal Exarch was just like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here," or we'll start a fight.
Yeah, I didn't even gasp when Elidibus did that little spear through him, or light spear, whatever you want to call it. I was like, that's not going to do shit. That's what we saw in the trailer. That's what you were trying to trick us with.
I was like, oh, okay, shit. It's already now. I thought that would have been like, just down the line where it's like, I was like, oh, there we go. It was weird. I did like how he said, oh, wow, your soul was not, yeah.
I think say he had like a thick soul or something like that.
It was like more durable or something.
She's like, damn, you thick boy.
You're thick. That crystal, man. The
thick
crystal
soul. After that, Reen comes running up out of breath and tells us that Thancred has collapsed. Apparently Thancred has been experiencing instability in his aether. He's been having regular bouts of lightheadedness ever since rescuing Urianger from drowning. Alice also had some lightheadedness earlier. We determined that we are now really pressed for time getting back to the source. So ourselves, the Warrior of Light, does travel back to the source to check up on the bodies. When we get there, it's not looking too good. Kryl has been busy fixing fluctuations in the aether. She lets us know that time is running out and we need to attempt the spirit vessel soon.
Or get them back home soon.
Yeah, get them back home soon. Anything else I missed in that?
We do obviously tell her that the Crystal Exarch had a plan, but it's a risky plan.
Mm-hmm.
He try something, but it'll be really risky. So, and she was just like, well, time's running out.
She's like, do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do. Shit gun down.
Also, when we are in the first, we meet up with everyone's favorite Lala, Tataru. Or, I guess it's not everyone's favorite Lala, but a lot of people's favorite Lala. Some people's favorite Lala is Chili.
That is
true. She wants us to bring back something to the source, something that will remind our fellow Scions of their time at home in Charlayan, and she bakes us an Archon loaf. It sucks, but apparently it's supposed to be that way. Kryl remarks, our native cuisine, shall we say, is a little lacking, so I think they're British.
Wow. Shots at us, guys.
There's fish and vegetables incorporated into the dough. Is that a British thing, Paul?
I mean, it could be a pie. Like fish pie. Better fish pie.
I've never had fish pie.
Fish pie's kind of nice.
I was
it's not made with dough. It's actually made with mashed potato.
I was not vegan for like 25 years, but I have never had fish pie.
You know what? You started being vegan when I was born then, because I'm 25 years old.
Oh my god! So, wow. Well, there is an age gap here, people. So yeah, we get some nasty bread from Tataru is what we're trying to get at. Kryl also has a friend. I've named him Rambro because I don't know how to say his real name. He has a message for the Crystal Exarch. His message is, we never doubted him, consider his duty done, and that he should follow his heart now. So, anything you have to say about Rambro and his message?
Rambo's message, well, we know who he is. Obviously, if you did the Crystal Tower storyline, he was there doing that. Is that a mosquito or a daddy long legs? I would like to know, because it's just messing around there. Sorry. Go away. Yeah. But, yeah, I think he's right, because obviously he was there, he was friends with Grahatia, aka Crystal Exarch. I think he may have helped him, because I know he was talking about friends, that he may have helped him throughout, where obviously in his future.
My thing with this line is, like, I feel like they're kind of giving, like, the false sense of, like, you actually have... I feel like a lot of this has to do with fate. And so many Final Fantasy games that I have played have to do with fate. Like, it's always our fate to do something. And this is kind of like giving the false sense that you have some control. But we know he's not going to just, like, follow his heart now. And, like, they make up for it by saying, or later on, like, he's like, of course, like, this is what I do. This is what I wanted to do. I am following my heart. But I thought it was kind of just a throwaway line to make us think that he actually has a choice when we all know exactly what he's going to do.
There is no choice.
Yeah, there's no choice. This is fate. And that's kind of what it gets. You know, everyone who's listening to this podcast knows I started playing Final Fantasy XIV. This was my first Final Fantasy game, and I've gone back through playing some previous ones, and, like, so many times it's always just about fucking fate. And I hate that. But it is what it is. What can you do? So after we talk to everyone in the source, Cryo, Rambro, Tataru, all of them, we go back to the first and deliver the bread. It's just as bad as they remembered it. But we don't get any, like, funny spit take or anyone from any of the Scions. I was kind of hoping for that. Little bit of comedy I was hoping for. What about you, Paul?
I really wish they would give it to Rin, because she asked if she wanted to try some.
Oh, that would have, like, that would have been awesome if Thancred was like, "Oh my god, you gotta try this! It's so fucking awesome!"
Like, you know, this is shit from Mark, because if you didn't do the what's it called? If you didn't do the Eden quest line that she was talking about, like sweet bread or biscuits or whatever the fuck. He was like, "Oh, you gotta try this," and just seeing her, like, her face, like, get green or something.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have been absolutely great.
They missed a couple opportunities for some good comedy during this MSQ. We also give the Scions an update on what's going on with their bodies. It's becoming very urgent that we get the crystals working for transfer. Exarch looked back into the Allagan's mastery of memory transference, and it required blood.
Blood.
Not just any blood, though. It needs the Crystal Exarch's crystallized essence. And after imbuing the crystals with his essence, he's losing his crystalness. They still need to do more testing, though, so we leave them to go deal with some low-ranking Black Mask Asians that are acting the fool out in the field. Do you have any input on the Black Mask Asians other than just lowly Asians?
They're just underlings. They're low-level underlings to make, obviously, the new undoubted Warriors of Light. Like, oh yeah, no, we are actually making a difference.
Yeah. They should have just given them red shirts instead of black masks, because that's what they were. Exarch decides he will be the lab rat for this and is going to test out an extra crystal they have on himself when the time comes. Urianger talks in his dumbass way. The Exarch must needs recognize his past self as simply that, himself. Way to say what everyone already knew. That he's gonna be testing it out on himself, and that we're gonna try it when we get back to the source. So we're off to deal with Ibis and the Shidiasians, and we need to. And Ibis is how I kind of started abbreviating a little bit in the outline because I got tired of typing a little bit. So Ibis and the Shidiasians, which kind of sounds like a band name. Like Elidibus was originally a member of a rock group, like the Unsundered. He was part of the Unsundered, and then he then he went off to break on his own, and he's touring Norvrant with Ibis and the Shidiasians. But we need what the fuck was I talking about? We're have to deal with
Thancred told us to go and give the information to Yestola.
Yeah, so,
she was still down in that other dungeon that we did.
Yeah, the Andire, and so we go over there to give her the rest of our nasty bread.
Yes.
So we gotta get rid of it.
Have our nasty ass. Schnozzy elf bread.
When we find her in Andire, she's passed out, and Ibis is there, but it appears she's out cold from the aether fluctuations, not from something that Elidibus actually did to her. We get hit by the echo, and there's two ancients talking to Elidibus. In a flashback, he has the original warrior of Light Helm. He then takes Yestola hostage. Elidibus then says, 1v1 me, bro, but first go through this gauntlet of friends you need to kill. While I try to make my case that we're no different, we have to kill copies of a lot of friends and a lot of foes as well. None of them are really too difficult, and this didn't make me have any sympathy for Elidibus. It really just made me want to kill him even more. What about you?
I mean, it was him wanting to trial us, see if you had, the will like he does. So I'm getting attacked by a random flying thing. I'm sorry. No, I have the window open. Insects. Fuck off. Jesus. Outside world. But I actually hate this part because we see my girl, Moonbreeder, come back to that, and I'm like, really?
Gotta kill her.
Really?
All right, was she one that we killed or just one that we saw?
Just one that we saw.
Just one that we saw. So it was like some people we saw, some people we had to kill. And it wasn't just like it was enemies and foes. We did kill some of our friends. I couldn't really pick up on any pattern on why we were killing some and not killing some others.
It was just a trial. That's why. It was just like, oh, you have to make the hard decisions. Save these people, kill them. I'm like,
yeah. To me,
the Astilian one I enjoyed. I enjoyed killing Astilian, but
to me, I was just like, you asshole. Why are you dragging this out? I'm just going to kill you. You're not saving yourself. You just make me want to kill you even more. And it looks like I might have hit on something else that Icarus wants to talk about. Bring Icarus back in. Once again, Icarus, what did I get wrong?
No, I mean, I was actually hanging out to when you got to the part after Yestola shows back up, because there's some parallels between him and the Crystal Exarch that were important that you were kind of yada-yada-ing.
If I was yada-yada-ing them, then I've already talked about him. What exactly was it?
So
are you talking about after our trial with him, and then Yestola freed herself?
Yeah, she let her, she let herself out of the cage, that whatever thing that Elidibus put her in, and then she's like, I figured out your game, dude. What's your deal? Okay,
so really quickly before I let you continue, so we go through that trial. Made me want to kill him more. Then Elidibus becomes Ardbert - Fallen Warrior, And we have a pretty easy fight with him where he admits he can't beat us in this form, and then he fucks off. Y'shtola woke up and freed herself. She says Elidibus is truly a primal. He sacrificed him to Zodiac's heart, and he became separate. How he became separated is less clear. We go along collecting rocks for our rock collection. Hydroponics tells us some stories, which leads us to being the 14th member of the council, to the surprise of no one. And yes, I call him Hydroponics because I can't pronounce his name.
His name is, I think it's from a story reference that is like Teller of Lies, I think is what it ended up meaning, or something like that.
It's like hydrothlogia, something like that.
There's a reference to a thing.
That's why I call him Hydroponics.
I believe it's the book Utopia is the reference from it, and that's sort of the theme. Anyway, slightly off topic. The point with the rocks, with Elidibus being a primal and its connection to the Exarch, they're mirroring each other, and that's why they go on this whole bit about it's important that the Exarch recognizes himself when his memories and his soul connects back with himself on the source. And the reason why that's a big deal is because we learn that Elidibus, who we thought was just a regular unsundered Ascian, is in fact a primal.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why this is such a big deal, especially with the flashbacks that we're getting, is primals exist by forging an offering of ether through crystals, and the prayers and supplications of worshippers. Now, with that in mind, do you see a problem with Elidibus being a primal right now?
That we did nothing to summon him?
No. The people who did summon him were Ascians. None of them are left. So he is quickly losing his mind, because the voices that he heard, that he feels that he has to do this duty, he's lost all tethering to people who've summoned him. So the one thing that he can hang on to is the fact that he, as a person in life, he was focused on one goal, being Elidibus, being that seat, that person that guides the council on the direction of the star. He was the guy who brought them together to make. That's what his job as the speaker was, or as that office of.
I mean, that was his job. Like, it seems like all their names are actually their titles, like
jobs.
Their jobs, yeah.
I had to correct myself a little bit, because technically La Habre is the speaker, but he's the guy who is the arbiter of which direction they take in the council. But he's speaking for all these different voices. Sometimes he agrees with them, sometimes he goes against them, but ultimately they defer to him for judgment. And now there's nobody. All of these voices that summoned him are gone, so he's losing his grip on that. And the only thing that he remembers is the mission.
Oh.
And
real quick, shout out to Phoenix 0220 for donating 420 bits, because he called him Hydroponics in his head when he went through this story. Hell yeah! Thank you, Phoenix. I'm not the only one who thought hydroponics.
Yeah. So, and the parallel with that, with the Exarch, is our buddy Graha, as the Exarch, has only been thinking about the job as his role of the Crystal Exarch, and he's losing himself in the role. And so the whole bit is, if he's able to go back, he has to recognize that he's not the Crystal Exarch, that he's Graha. So that's the parallel they're trying to make with Elidibus and with Graha.
I did get the mirror between Grahatia and Elidibus. The Ascians are just so fucking weird to me, though. Like, so he sacrificed himself to become Zodiac's heart, and then and then he's a primal at the same time. It just doesn't totally track for me.
So It makes sense if you understand
like
the series of
Elidibus
events.
should be dead already, and this is like Zodiac's heart, which is like mimicking what Elidibus was, but it's really just the will of Zodiark, and that's why he's like so set on his job.
Well, let me see if I can clear this up for you. So he sacrifices himself, becomes the heart of Zodiark. Zodiark does his thing, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, this fucking place sucks! Oh my god, what have we done?" And they're like freaking out, right? And so when as the heart, he feels this pull. There's all this ether, and he feels this pull to come back and save them because they're freaking out without him. So they inadvertently resummon him as a separate primal. And that's what happens after the sundering.
All right, I'm gonna have to do some more research after this, Icarus.
No problem. But yeah, that's essentially what explains how he came back. So we're all Orion J and everybody assumed that it was just another person that was raised up. It's that they fucked up after like the sundering, and they're like, "Oh my god, everything's broken. What are we gonna do?" And they were like crying out for help, for a savior, and that with all of this ether around and their supplications, they inadvertently summoned another primal in the Elidibus, which is why he stands apart from the rest of the acid.
And Paul muted himself, so I don't know if he went to go take a piss or if he's still.
Oh no,
okay.
I'm here. I just didn't want to interrupt.
Do you have anything to add to this part?
No, that's pretty much what I was going to talk about.
So, Paul, you might be able to answer this better than I can. Do you know what all the rocks with the astrologian signs on them were for?
Stars.
Just stars.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I wasn't so dumb.
Well, it's not only that they're just like the Azim one. It's their memories etched by the council of the different seats. That's why there's 13 of them.
Okay. So I think I got that. We're going to have to do like a little more of a deep dive, I think, coming up.
Sure.
But thank you, Icarus, for once again shedding a little light on some of the MSQ. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks again for.
All right, there we go. We got, so what did we just do? We collected all the rocks for our crystal collection. Now we're heading to Yulmore to meet up with Alfie. We get another star show. I think Dulia Chai notices that. And we get hit with a hear, feel, think from Heidelin. And then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of spectral swordsmen and black mages, bards, a whole lot of them are raining down. We decide airship is the best way of travel to escape all of this. And we take the Yulmore airship to the Crystarium. But then we get struck down. And that is what leads us into the dungeon.
Fucking Dragoon. Took us down.
So, Paul, Heroes Gauntlet, the dungeon for patch 5.3. What'd you think about it?
Oof. It was a really good dungeon.
Was it?
Definitely one of the best.
You and I have differing opinions of that. I wish they would have done more with this dungeon. We were supposedly running through 3 zones during this dungeon. Because of that, I thought it was too short. It was basically 2 pulls, boss, 2 pulls, boss, 2 pulls, boss, and we're done. They're supposed to be wrapping up this epic story, and I know they never differentiate from the dungeons, but I wish they would have given us a more epic dungeon. Like, even if it was just like a cooler, longer environment, give us a couple more trash pools to get through, or give us 1 or 2 more bosses. I wish they would have done a little something more with this one. The bosses were fine. So what was it about this dungeon that makes you say one of the best dungeons we've got?
Well, first of all, the way you're explaining it, you would want it to be more epic and more cool. But then it would have been a MSQ dungeon, aka what we do for the MSQ roulette. If you wanted that to be large scale because you said it was too small, and have it bigger, and go through the areas going between it. We obviously went through the deserty area. We went through Almeg and all that, and then into the Crystarium through Lakeland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was small, but I think it was a better way how they did it, because it would have been an MSQ, and it would have like 8 people running through there. It'd be like the size of an 8-person dungeon.
Could they have done something new, made a 4-man MSQ?
They could have, but obviously, we ain't got enough RAM in the servers, kind of thing. So, kind of keeping it, and they wanted it to be obviously a dungeon to keep with what they do for expert. So they want it to be short and sweet, so people of non-time consuming lives, they're not like me, they have a job,
it
kids,
takes
and whatnot.
20 minutes to do a dungeon. We couldn't bump that up to 25 to 30.
I mean, 25, I've got to feed myself, feed the kids. Kids got to have a bath, shower. I've got to have a shower, brush my teeth.
Come on. You guys can set aside 25 to 30 minutes for the dungeon. For a fucking epic dungeon? Come on, let's do it.
I mean, it was good. Like, you got to see like all these people that you helped along the way. It was a very good kind of end dungeon to end the Shadowbringers on, though. So, we saw a bunch of our friends from each of the...
I did like that part of it. We saw people that we had seen along the way helping us. I love that little grasshopper dude, or actually big grasshopper dude. That was cool. The bosses, on the other hand, while I thought the mechanics are cool, the first one was kind of forgettable to me. I don't even remember what the first boss was. Do you?
Just a ninja thief thing.
Thief?
That annoyed me in some ways because he kept teleporting and moving, making copies of himself. I was like, whatever.
So yeah, that one was mostly forgettable to me. Chad is saying that was Locke from Final Fantasy VI. He was a thief. I have not gotten to that one yet, so that one had no nostalgia for me. And that's what I actually heard. A lot of the bosses were from previous Final Fantasy games. Second boss was the one we got a preview of, a couple of screenshots leading up to the patch. The scantily clad woman. She had some interesting mechanics. And...
Fucking necromancer! Yeah! It was great!
So, like we said, there were kind of hints towards other jobs we could get leading up to other Final Fantasies. We got the chemist that could be it. Now necromancer and thief. And there was also Berserker in this dungeon. I feel like Berserkers are a little too close to Warrior, so I don't think we're gonna get Berserker.
Yeah. That, and it had Dark Knight abilities, so it didn't have any like unique abilities. It was basically just bigger versions of Dark Knight and made holes in the ground.
So yeah, I guess I'm not really mad at this dungeon for what it is. It's just like the situation that it was supposed to be wrapping up this badass story, and it didn't just like really add. I wanted more. I guess that's just what it is. I wanted more. I don't know.
He wanted more, and he wants it now.
Didn't do it for me. Thank you, Fidu1, and says this crystal dance party is tripping, and on stream right now we got a big old dance party going, looking at the crystal tower in the background. Thank you.
Come on over to Gilgamesh, and you could join in this party right now.
Thank you for that sub, and thank you for everyone dancing right now. We're all doing the bee's knees, new dance in 5.3.
Stripper dance. Hell yeah! Look at shake the ass.
So, like you, Paul, Avi really enjoyed this new dungeon. I thought there were some interesting mechanics in the second one, or second and third one. I don't really remember that much of the first one mechanics. I feel like we just burned through that really quick.
Yeah.
Um,
It brain dead.
yeah.
Brain dead first.
Do you have anything to add about this dungeon before we move on beyond it?
Oh, okay. Okay, right. So, the second boss, Necromancer. I want to see that as a fucking job in Final Fantasy 14 because apparently there is a Necromancer in Final Fantasy 14. Someone said it was like, where did that go? Liana from FF5. Didn't play FF5. But Necromancer, you could do so much with that. That could definitely be a caster, or apparently people wanted to be a healer.
It's definitely
Necromancers. Necromancers weren't healers, guys. Like Necromancy, I did an episode on this of necromancy. We went full depth into necromancy, and it's nothing like a healer. You don't heal.
Yeah, and I'll definitely go on my wild speculation next expansion. We're getting 1 heals, 1 DPS. That's
yeah,
what
I think it's
think.
caster. I think it might be caster. What would be necro? Because necro as a sheephead, I don't think it. Pets, I don't really mind. I don't mind summoner and scholar. Scholar's my favorite healer, so pet, yeah. But necromancy, you could do so much with that. You could have bone spells, creeping ghouls, specters. Fucking touch of frost. You can have frost magic as well into there. Like, you could do so much with it. And from the second boss, you see them use corpses, and like these corpses from one of the 24-man bosses who was all about death and all that. You could do so much with that. So you can make that. You can have like a pet or a thing hold on and it explode. And that could be an AoE explosion. It could be like the Bane that we used to have.
Necromancer is like an MMO staple as well. So there's definitely lots of ways they can go with it.
Yeah, you can. I don't make it a melee. You could, have like a little scythe as well. You could like do some raking. But now
I agree with you.
If it's gonna be Necromancer, I'm hanging up my Bard, I'm hanging up my Gunbreaker, and I'm a full-fledged Necromancer for life.
So middle of next raid, we're gonna have to change again, huh?
Well, 6.0. So we'll see.
Besides Necro, anything else from this dungeon you want to talk about?
That the final boss looked like Curious George from the Warrior Crest line.
You're not wrong on that. Yeah.
But it was cool how he holded the sword, and I wish Dark Knights could hold swords like that, because that would be really cool.
So, what kind of meltdown will you have if at the virtual fan fest that we're probably inevitably getting, they announce Necromancer as the next healer?
Then I'm healing.
Okay.
Then I'm quitting your stack and becoming a healer, because I don't think KK or Chili will stop healing.
Chili might go monk.
No, he loves his white mage. Unless white mage gets like hella nerfed.
It's like going from DPS to DPS. He might do it.
But then again, monk is getting reworked. So he could be like, monk. Ooh.
Yeah, I think Chili might be out on if what he predicts for the monk rework to happen of Grease Lightning becoming a trait. Then he might be he might be stealing Necromancer from you.
Oh no! Then I won't be. I won't be a part of the.
Got the two British people fighting then.
So, I'm not lost. See, so I'm gonna have to leave. I'm gonna have to leave the stack. Unless you want to do a 3 healer static.
Let's do it. World first, baby.
World first 3 healer static. The white mage doesn't have to heal. The white mage can just DPS.
So, moving on from the dungeon, Crystal Exarch loses his special imbued crystal to Elidibus, which gives Elidibus the ability to control the crystal tower because he now has the royal blood.
Okay, we did miss that. Like, obviously, there's a cutscene where Elidibus shows up at the crystal tower whilst they're kind of working and experimenting and obviously all of Kristark's memories and all that are now in this crystal. That's what the experiment was that they were doing. And Elizabeth shows up, and then
well, I feel like at this point he just lost the crystal that was imbued with his blood.
No, it had his memories and stuff in. It glowed. And that's what, to see if it would work, because that was the whole experiment.
So it has his memories but not his soul.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So, which allows him to summon warriors of light from time and space.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
And Bjulung, our little friend who was helping the Crystal X design and make these, summons her friend, the fire bastard from one of the dungeons. And he just gets fucking slashed. He just gets effed. One slash, one done. Gone.
Yeah. She's just like laying there lifeless.
And she just got like whacked, and then Crystal Eggstark trapped Mr. Lidibus in the Crystal Tower, what's probably the worst fucking thing to do. And then makes a run for it. And then that's where we show up after the dungeon. Hey. With the amazing endurance our character has from running all this fucking way. Just saying. I think we also did miss our friends sacrifice themselves to give us space or whatever. Really corny, cringy, fucking, this wise person, says Ree, this wise person once told me we can make great opportunities or some shit like that. And Mr. Thancred is like, he must have been a wise, good-looking fellow and good with a gunbreaker, gunblade or whatever. And I was like, okay, we're sure.
Yeah.
And so we ran ahead.
Yeah, I might have yada-yada'd some stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna give everyone, because that was a good scene. Your friends were just like, we'll hold them off for you. Even though we're a little bit cringy. It's kind of weird. I wouldn't say cringy. It was cool. Alizier wanted to get in there, beat some assholes. And Alfie was just like,
yeah, Alize's cool. Alpha knows.
I love Alize is my favorite twin, and I'm a Grahatia stan and Alizia stan because they're awesome.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I wish death upon.
Anyone who likes Alphano over than Alize, I don't know why. What's wrong with you? Who hurt you?
You must like normal milk instead of chocolate milk.
I
don't know what that was an analogy.
So, eventually, we are running up the Crystal Tower.
Great endurance.
Exarch is kind of just slowing us down at this point, to be honest.
He falls to the ground.
And I was like, okay, we're just gonna have to like leave him back at this part. And then he goes on a whole long speech. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Let's just
we have time. Well, no, okay, we did miss a crude part where was it Lena, the bunny girl who Crystal Exarch raised, was also at the tower. Well, not at the tower, at the gates of Crystarium. She kind of wanted an explanation, and you have a kind of things like, do I, or like we haven't got time for this, or maybe tell her just a little bit, and then he tells her, and she's just like, oh yeah, go do you. Tell me later. And then she just has like the small cry, and I'm like, so you do this, my bun girl, because I like you. You sound Russian, you're cute at times, and you're only the other buns I like in the story. Even though you don't have floppy ears, god damn it.
So yeah.
That was a tearjerker for me a little bit.
That was a tearjerker for you?
It was a little bit. Just a little bit. I was like, okay, she's got some feels, because technically she is. The Crystal Exarch is basically like her father figure who taught her all these things. So, you gotta feel that a little bit. You're like, Scandinavian, Paul. Scandinavian Russians, they all have a nice accent.
I believe when we talked about this before, someone told me that it is an Icelandic.
Also, like Viking, yes, Scandinavian.
Yeah. But it's a very cool accent. I do enjoy that accent.
it's good because most women we hear are very like really high pitched because mostly they're cat girls at Hures. Then you have Moonbreeder, who shouldn't have died. Square Enix, I'm still pissed at you. More femros in this game and more bunny girls with floppy ears. God damn it! Don't make us a dying race.
That's what Paul wants. Give it to us.
Yeah.
So I think you might actually have a better timeline for this than me, because I have to admit, when I was doing this part on stream, and when I do it on stream, I tend to forget exactly how it happens. So if you want to go ahead and lead us up for this next part, like leading.
While we get up. So after that we've talked to Lena. We're running up the. We're running with in the endurance. We've got some great endurance because our character is apparently the Usain Bolt, or whatever. No, actually, he's a short distance runner. Actually, oh, no, he did like the 400.
Usain Bolt is a short distance runner.
Yeah. You know, Mo Farah, a British guy. He ran endurance. There you go. I know my running, I guess. But we're running up the Crystal Tower, a lot of stairs because Crystal Tower is a shit ton of fucking stairs. and obviously the Crystal Exarch, where obviously his memories and obviously Elizabeth using the magic to teleport all these people here is really crumbing in on the Crystal Exarch because now the Crystal Exarch is paying for the price. He's literally turning to crystal and it's got his legs. His legs were just turning to crystal and he fell over and he was like, and then he was like, look, I need to take the last stand. You need to go fight him. I got your back. Basically, I'm not going to go for the whole spiel because I'm not going to do it word for word because I'm not that good at remembering. But, you know, he was telling, you know, like, oh, you know, trump cards and all that. Yeah. And so he used, what was it, heavy or some shit. They all just get heavy. They just get the heavy symbol. You're like, okay, I'll just run away.
See, I was thrown off on like the whole like rhythm of this because when he first went down, he was like, "You got to go on without me," and then he went on for a speech for like 10 minutes. I'm like, "Come on! I thought we were supposed to like leave you here and we're supposed to go." But at that point, like the Elidibus starts summoning all the other warriors of light, right?
Yeah, he's been doing that for a while because obviously we knew that because Yastola said back in Yilmore that the ring he used to teleport people here, and so we know, okay, that's not right. That's why we were going back to the Crystal Tower. He's up at the roof where we all know where we fighted. What's his face? Who's the boss in Crystal Tower? Sakara's Tower.
Zandy.
Go to Zandy's arena where he's at. We're up top of there, and we see him. We see him there, and we're like, "Bitch, this ends now."
Yeah. Basically. So that is basically where we get our trial with the Elidibus, correct?
Yeah, that's where we have a whole cool cutscene and the crystals that we talked about. Those crystal stone collection we had helped us. You know, we were summoning people to, you know, come help us fight Elidibus, and then we queue up.
So with this trial with the Elidibus, I think when I did it the first time, which was not until a couple days ago, it was probably like a week after it was released, we wiped twice on this. I think maybe only once, but I know it was at least once. I think twice. I've heard some horror stories about this one though. What about you? How did your first run go?
Yeah, we died like I think it's like 2-3 times. Just because it was new mechanics and a lot of people I was like, oh shit, yeah, you know. And I was with a bunch of like returners and stuff, so like they didn't even count down on the pool, and this was late at night on stream. This was very late at night on EU, so you know.
So I think
a lot of people
there's one part. It's one part when there's like a marker that has to run away, and then another marker to stack, while there's like some Sephiroth-esque orbs enveloping the arena, and I think that part is the one that my group had a problem with in the beginning, just like spreading people or spreading one person, stacking, avoiding those bubbles. That's what got our group. Was there anything specific that got your group?
It was just the line AoEs when they came out. A lot of people were like, where's the safe spot? And then they all died to it.
Oh, that little
And there's people just-
triangle that it makes.
Yeah. But also, we didn't actually say what Elidibus was, because actually Elidibus turned into the Warrior of Light.
That is
the actual,
right.
Yeah, we didn't actually say that. Like, he actually turned into the Warrior of Light, a form which was the first Warrior of Light that we saw in the storybook. That picture, he turned into that, aka Dissidia, and another Final Fantasy game that has crossed my mind.
He got that Va3 glow up.
Yeah, and it's just like, the Squidward is like, oh no, he's hurt. And there's like, oh well, FF1, there you go. Chili knows it, because Chili knows literally everything, because FF is shit. It's classes, yeah. FF1.
I only knew it by the helm. I couldn't get it from the armor.
I only did it from Dissidia.
Man, I haven't played that. But yeah, I thought this trial was pretty fun. I think it was challenging, pretty challenging for a normal trial. It's a 2-parter, so if you get far enough your first time through and wipe, you'll be able to start at like the second half of the trial.
Yeah, we did get a cool cutscene.
Yeah. I know previously in Ruby Weapon, Paul, you had not liked the fact that Ruby Weapon had a checkpoint. What'd you think about it in this one?
I was happy this had a checkpoint, because I didn't want to go for it again, because the cutscene was cool. Don't get me wrong, the cutscene was cool, but fuck me, I don't want to do it every single time. And then it'll just get annoying at the time.
And have you tried this trial on Extreme yet?
I have not.
Neither have I.
I watched a friend do it, and she did go. Her name just freaking exploded me. We've actually hosted her a few times. She did a Warrior of Light thing. Give me a minute. Resna, there we go.
Okay. Yeah.
I watched Resna do it, and I think she got a kill on it the other night on Thursday when we were raiding. And I think it looks quite easy. Apparently it's supposed to be quite easy. Well, I wouldn't say easy. It's still an extreme, so
yeah.
It's just,
because when I do it, like I queued up with Avi and a few other people, and so you have quite a few pugs with you, and I think that's like the biggest difference from doing it with a whole group that is when everyone's on the same page with mechanics, it all goes a lot faster. It's when there was something in this fight, like I said, with the stack mechanic and the one person who has to get out. If those people don't communicate and they all stack on everyone, then the whole group just wipes. So I can definitely see that being even worse in the extreme version. So, Chili's also mentioning the QuickTime event in this one where you have to press the buttons.
Yeah, the cutscene, basically. That's what I haven't actually talked about that yet. The cool cutscene is actually really good because we get sent to the void, basically.
That is true. I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, we get sent to the void, and it has a quick time event. You have to mash, you got to mash that button real quick, because it does go down. It is quite annoying, actually.
I gotta say, I was able to do that pretty easily. I just, like, on my keyboard, I go from my pinky to my index finger, and I just do that on the keys, and it's just fine. And Avi just made a fucking racket, just going key after key as hard as she fucking could. And I'm like, I'm just looking at her. And she's like, I'm like, it doesn't make a difference how hard you hit the key. Jesus.
I think it's still cool though, because the cutscene, obviously, Elidibus, he thinks he's won. He thinks, they're not going to come back. But we clench our crystal, because our crystal has a I called it a boob because it does literally look like a boob. It's a circle within a circle. It's a dot between a circle, and it was just one boob.
Sure.
So I was like, Boobal's gonna love this because it's all for her. It's basically a boob, and I was really happy about that. And we clutch that to our chest, and we teleport back. And he's like, "Not here! What? What are you doing?" And then he sees one of the can't remember their name now. Remembers one of the big tall guys, I'm gonna call them.
I just call them the
appear-
ancients.
Yeah. He appears before we get to that point, and he does the MXelk,
Yeah.
the MXelk click, and boom, we
it's
come
like
back.
the dismissive wrist flip.
No, before that, he clicks his hand like he did with the Stola,
Oh yeah.
and then we teleport back.
Yeah.
The finger snap, and then he would just like, oh, you made a bad decision. He's like, no, you, and then he does the flick hand goodbye as he walks off, and I was just like, MXL, what?
Yeah.
What?
So we got a little MXL cameo in there.
I like that, dude. That was sick. That was cool.
Yeah, that was probably the most entertaining part of that. That little flick of the wrist. And it's like, holy shit, that's MXL. So yeah, he kind of gave us the assist, right?
Yeah, he gave us the assist. We came back and was like, "Yo, what's good?"
And but it probably wasn't so much of an assist for us as it was kind of a mercy kill of Elidibus.
Well, like they were friends with Elidibus. Technically, they were.
Yeah, they were friends, but
and
I think that's kind of what I'm saying is like it was a mercy.
Yeah.
It's like you're done, my friend.
You're done. Just come with us. Like, live in peace now.
Stop fighting.
Yeah.
All
It's
of us
over.
are dead, but you. All your friends are dead. What are you really fighting for?
It's over, Anakin. It's over. I have the high ground.
And so at the end of that, is that when Crystal Exarch uses his trump card?
I don't think so. Yeah, well, obviously we just kill him, and then obviously you kill it. You go into another cutscene, and he's like, "No, how?" And then he comes out. The Crystal Exarch comes out and just like Gandalf's it, kind of like you, my final trump card.
So he's
It's like an
using the
ace.
power of the Crystal Tower, right?
Yeah, at this point he's using the Crystal Tower to kill him / make him go on.
Then we had to help him. We grabbed his staff with him.
Yeah, because he was getting weaker and he was getting hard to control and stuff, and so we was like, you know what, bruv, we're coming. I really want to know, Chili, can you go in there, take a picture for me? I want to know what it looks like for a Lalafell, because I was like,
Yeah,
like,
do you go above or below the Exarch's hand?
And I was like, I really want to know what a Lalafell looks like this, because obviously I play big races. I play a bunny and a Femro, so obviously I'm going to be towering over the Crystal Exarch because I'm a monster of a woman. Not actually a woman in real life. I am a dude. I do have a penis. The last time I checked, which was
3 years ago.
earlier. No, I think it was last night. You know.
You're
Yeah,
like, holy
full
shit!
penis
I just
confirmed.
checked, and game changer.
Yeah, I'm still a woman. Yeah, that was when I left the Whispering Dawn. I was like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, no, I do have a penis. It's fine. That was a random joke. But yeah, and he's, he defeats. I want to say, well, yeah, he defeats with the power of the Crystal Tower. The light takes over, and just disintegrates.
He does a little death scream. I wanted more.
It kind of reminded me how I think Cell died in Dragon Ball Z. Where he's like, ooh, his mouth is like wide open. It's like, ooh.
Well, I can't comment on that, but what I was hoping for was, since I really hate the Ascians, I don't think the Ascians should be redeemable characters at all, and I hate that Square Enix tried to make us feel any sympathy for them at all.
Relatable.
I wanted Elidibus to have a death scene that made him look like he was in as much pain as Tesleen from one of the first scenes in Shadowbringers that we had. That was a fucking death scene right there. And I wish that he would have received kind of the same fate as she did, something that painful. I don't know if you remember Tesleen from the very beginning.
Oh god, fuck it. Oh yeah, I know Tesleen. I don't call her Tesleen. I call her Tesco's. Because her name literally looked like Tesco's. I was like when I was like doing all that in that cutscene, I was like, no, Tesco's, and I was like, why did I shout that? And I just made it a meme for me. It's like, oh, poor Tesco's. There goes Tesco's again.
Chat's calling me Vindictive Pete. Asians are assholes, guys. Asians
they
are
wanted
not
to
good
destroy
people.
our world. You know, they're kind of assholes. They want to destroy our worlds to bring back theirs.
Yes.
So you know, but I do see where they come from. It's just like, oh, well, we want our friends to come back, but you kind of have to, yeah. I'm not backing him. I think the only Asian I liked was MXLK because he was just sassy, sarcastic, and just he had more of a personality. But all he wanted to be was to be remembered. So
yeah, I don't like that they tried making us feel sympathy for Elidibus. That guy can fucking die.
But honestly, MXLK's death was way better than Elidibus's.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, way better.
Because MXLK was a better character than Elidibus was.
Yeah. I thought it was great.
He's more engaging. He has much more charisma. So, yeah. Elidibus
just had no personality.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like the personality was there. And then obviously where we do like kill him and he's, becoming whatever, he's getting rid of all this power now. He just becomes a little kid Asian.
Yeah, and I feel like that was just to try to make us have some even more sympathy from him. And I'm like,
oh shit, we just killed a kid.
I'm like, fuck that little kid. Kill him. Die.
Killed him.
Baby Hitler, die.
Yeah, we just gave him his like little his Lego blocks back, aka the rooms. We just give him them back, like, here you go. Bye.
It's like Walking Dead. Look at the flowers. I'll put you out of your misery.
No. Oh, God, Carol that bitch. Nah, get out of here, kids. To be fair, those kids are fucking terrifying. They need to be put down. And it's I think they were cool. I wouldn't say his death was satisfying because it fucking weren't.
Yeah, I wanted it to be worse. I wanted him to suffer more. I wanted to keep him in a crystal and just like put him on our mantle where he can just watch us forever.
I mean, like, obviously putting obviously when he did fade and he did go into the crystal tower, so
yeah,
but he's just in there and probably, I don't know.
There's always a chance for him to come back.
Oh no, I think he's in the crystal tower now. He's become one with the ether because obviously crystal tower is.
I'm not gonna put it by him. He can always come back.
Oh no! Now we gotta go deeper into the story where we find out the other things that happen at the end, but we'll get to there eventually.
So where should we head from here? Crystal Exarch finally tests the crystal out by imbuing his memories and soul into the crystal.
That was ages ago.
Did we talk about that?
His soul now. It was his soul. He put his soul into there, and this is where he becomes Sorry, I will speak. I've got a little bit of sidetrack manner. Where he says, I asked, because he asked us if he could do him one more favor before this, and he is now laying down. And he's saying, "Okay, here is the favor I must ask you." And this kind of got me as well. This kind of got me in the feels because he was like, I want you on your next adventure to take me with you, and that's when he starts getting crystallized and stuff.
So that's his soul. He already did his memories. This is his soul.
Yeah, we just put. That's where he becomes crystal when his whole soul goes into it. Then
he got the Han Solo treatment. He's stuck in carbonite now.
But now we have his soul and his memories in the in the Azurite thing now, or the alright.
I just call it the crystal.
Spirit vessel. Yeah, the spirit vessel. We have that dear to us, and the scene where we have his memories, his soul clenched to our heart as he gets crystallized, and obviously everyone coming in, and then Ring coming in, like looking at us. Oh, that got me. So I was like, it was like the happy respect right there, because that was such a nice. I don't know. It was a real nice cutscene to get your emotions like, oh yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, I'm different. Didn't
I'm
get
doing.
that at
See,
all. And like my headcanon for my character is he's kind of an idiot. So like as soon as he gets the crystal, he's like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" But besides
I'm just
that,
gonna shove it on my ass, you know.
yeah, and that's what it always looks like when he's like putting it in his pocket. I'm like, "Oh, he just keistered that crystal."
Oh, we ain't getting that out for a couple of days. Oh, yikes.
So we got the crystal that has the Exarch's memories and soul. And then what happens next? We head back to the Crystarium.
Head back to the Crystarium, basically to say our goodbyes, because obviously the a Biol, I'm gonna call it Biolog, basically
say
came back
Bekalug.
from being obviously, because she, like, they were still attacked, but they wanted to see if everything was all right.
Yeah, she went
To
from
see if, like,
roadkill to just walking up.
yeah, just like, okay, I need to check, see if it's all right, and she's like, yeah, you know, that looks good. You know, they look probably healthy. We'll give that, shove it back in our ass.
Yep.
And then we're obviously talking with our peers, our other scions and stuff, and telling that it's going to take a few hours for the rest of them to be ready. Go say your goodbyes, basically. And everyone else was like, okay. Reen and Thancred want to go give flowers to Minfilia, where obviously that's back in the trolley district, and that's what I'm going to call it. It's the trolley district now, or sand area, either one.
Yeah,
And
and also want to say goodbye to Haldrick, though, the little boy who was with Tesleen when she died.
yeah, that's where LZA is going. And then you have, what's her face, Yestola, going back to the Slitherborn.
We wanted to
Go
say
to that.
goodbye to Runar, which is what I had expected most people to say they cried at, but it turns out it probably wasn't. But that was an okay scene with Runar, but goddamn, Runar, are you an idiot? You know if she stayed, she was going to die.
Yeah, you know, she did say that, you know. She already had all her stuff in order. She was just going there just to say goodbye to him, I guess, and the people.
That guy had like been in hiding or something. She hadn't seen him in a while.
Yeah, after the whole, you know, thing where he heard over him, he ran away or something.
And he came back with one fucking flower. Like you've been hiding for weeks and you couldn't even come back with a bouquet. Just one fucking flower.
Maybe that's like the most sacred flower known to man. Maybe it's like
it only blooms once every 10 years.
You could make that into a goddamn fountain of youth or something. That's like, this flower will give you the power of immortality. And he's scared to, like, there you go.
But I think this scene was good because he told us, like, okay, I gotta go, but I'm not an idiot. I'm going to find a way to get back.
Yeah, I'll find a way to come back and see you guys. Well, so, and then he was like, "Oh yay!" and then he just picks her up like a goddamn fucking, just like stuck. Yay! I was like, "Oh,
put me down, asshole."
That's cute.
Urion J goes to, I guess, get his affairs in order with the Pixies, which is basically just returning books to the library.
Yep. He's just returning stuff. Obviously talking to... honestly, he probably just wants to pick up a couple of books. He's like, actually, these books are actually pretty cool. Gonna take them with me, hopefully. Just stick them in my ass like everyone does.
But something he does give us is like the crystal from Ardbert.
Yeah, Arbert's crystal.
And tells us to go visit Seto.
To go give it to Seto. And I was like, this part got me the most. Just because, like, the way you present it, you're like, oh, this is Arbert's crystal. And he was like, talking to them. The moment he said, close your eyes. And obviously he did. And then Albert came out. And he was like, he was like a dog. Or like a pet, like, seeing his owner for like a very, like, hasn't seen his owner for a very long time. And coming to him. It got me so, because obviously I lost my dog just before Christmas, and I think that kind of really got to me as well. And I was like, oh, this was absolutely amazing. And it actually made me tear up, and I was actually crying. I was like, oh god, this has got me. This part has got me.
Yeah, I definitely see how it got a lot of people. I guess it just didn't get me because it had been so long since we visited Seto again. Like, it just wasn't recent in my mind, and then I was like, oh yeah, I remember everything that happened now, and it's very impactful, but not enough to shed some tears for me.
Yeah. Also, whoever Ivory Mist is, the back there, respect you. Got floppy ears. Mad respect you. You're like my next favorite person in the FC. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Ivory Mist.
Shout out to Ivory Mist.
Floppy ears.
So we say our goodbyes to Ardbert or not Ardbert. I guess Seto and Ardbert kind of at the same time. Everyone reconvenes inside the Crystal Tower, and the Scions imbue their souls and memories into our crystals, or whatever you want to call it, vessels.
We're going a bit off track because we did see Magnus for a little bit. We don't know who Magnus was, but we saw the trolley people. And then we come back to the Crystal Tower with everybody. And the people.
Did anyone ever care about that guy?
I cared about him.
What the fuck did you want to do with Magnus?
He is a great engineer. He's the next Sid.
Dude, it's like, okay, we're on time. We're on a clock. I'm not gonna go see Magnus right now.
Okay, this is we come back to the Crystarium, and the people of the Crystarium come and say their goodbyes to us, and the Crystal Exarch, because he is in our pocket technically. You
mean our butthole?
Yeah. And Lena obviously did give us a. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing the name wrong. I had a friend call her fucking Lana or whatever, and and she obviously gives us, but like, for all you guys, you've made us here and all that. It was great. And obviously, Alpha Note also did go back to. I'm trying to speed it up. Back to
Dulia Chai.
And
Ilmore.
saw, he went back to Ilmore and said goodbye to the mayor, and
that was a very
that was great.
Cheery goodbye from Dulia Chai.
I wanted Dulia Chai just to fucking camel clutch that fucking Alfie. That's what I wanted. That had been a good comedy. Okay, now we're going.
Did you say you wanted her to cuck her husband?
No, no, she wanted. No, how she hugged her husband, like, definitely. I wanted her to do that to Alfie.
Ah, okay.
And that would have been funny. That would have been some good comedy. But it was a heartfelt moment. We enjoyed that. Now we went back. We went all the way back to Crystarium. Now we're getting their hearts back in, or not their hearts, their souls and memories into the crystals. And now we go back. We go back with them.
Yeah, so we keister the rest of the crystals and head back to the source. Luckily, our Warrior of Light was able to remember which crystal went with which Scion.
Yeah, did they have a tag?
I would have loved if Y'shtola woke up and in her best Urian J impression was like, "Do thine eyes deceiveth me? I have titties."
I would have loved that. I would have fucking loved that. Oh, that would have been great. That would have been great comedy.
And we could have had a Freaky Friday situation for 5.4. That would have been awesome.
We're like, oh no, we need to do it again. But it was good. And they all get back into their own bodies. And then we're like, oh yeah, cool. And then we fucking sprinted out of there.
Yeah, we got one more to do.
We were gone. Like, everyone else was like, oh, he's gone. Oh, they're gone. And what was it? Alfie was just like, Tataru, can you get us all some tea? And could you bring us an extra cup?
Yes, the extra
cup. And then
cup.
as soon as I heard that, I was like, huh? Huh? Huh?
But were you really, huh? Or you're like, oh yeah, that's what I expected.
By this time, I was like, yeah, he's gonna come back. And we fucking legged it to the tower. We dropped our little crystal that we got, our little crystal with the boob on it. We dropped that because we're fucking clumsy. And how did that drop out? Just saying. The amount of stuff we have in our inventory, how the fuck did that come out? Yeah, we picked that up and obviously we remembered and all that, and we just put it back in our pockets. Then we opened up the tower with obviously the royal blood, aka from my boy. And we go in and the door's shut behind us. And then it gives us a few days later.
And
the first time we've ever seen that.
yeah, usually it's like meanwhile.
Meanwhile, in Garlemald.
So a few days later, what is it, like breakfast? I'm assuming everyone's having.
A bit breckies.
Alice A seems bored as fuck.
Okay, before we say that, the animation. How did you like the animations of this cutscene?
Didn't bother or impress me, so I guess it's just kind of normal for me.
It impressed me so much of how they did the animation. It was so fresh from what we usually see. It's really good.
I didn't notice.
Okay. Keep going.
So, seems that she's jealous that everyone got a new look and a new job, but I also think she's just like, oh my god, it's so boring being back here, because I think she really found herself in the first. It seemed like she had her purpose instead of being like just a sidekick to Alphino or a sidekick to the rest of the Scions that they would ask for help every once in a while. It seemed like she finally truly had her own life over there.
Yeah. And there's so much on her pounding of her like face plant in the obviously face plant and her doing the whole hands and stuff. That was so well. That was the comedy I kind of wanted a little bit more of. But it was really good. Like I enjoyed that. And then obviously we see them all with the scent, and then they all look over as our character comes in. And we're just like, yeah, what's good, guys? Kind of chill.
So yeah, I don't think it was so much that she was just jealous about everyone getting new duds and having their new jobs. I think it was that she's bored back here in the first.
I mean, I think she really wanted her outfit again. I think she really enjoyed wearing that outfit. And
why couldn't she ask Tataru to make her the fucking outfit? It's like, what? You don't have a new job? You don't get a new outfit? Fuck you.
I think that was the joke kind of thing that they kind of played with.
Bitch,
I thought that was kind of cool.
Get me some tea and make me a new outfit while you're at it. But yeah, that Thancred, Y'shtola, Urian J got Tataru to make them gear like they had in the first. Was it alluded to how Thancred is able to get like cartridges for his?
Y'shtola throw him some.
Okay.
Y'shtola did it.
But yeah, Urian J's fucking around with his new duds and his cards.
For all the weebs out there, when Urian J did the pose, you instantly thought of JoJo. You was like, he's doing the pose. And I'm big weeb, my friend. It was great. I enjoyed the absolute crap out of that. It was great. Absolutely great.
And I don't know that reference at all.
No,
and then as soon as a townsfolk runs up saying they need help to kill some hippogriffs.
Wait. You've already gone way too far. We didn't even come to see where our boy comes in. Because our boy comes in. Who's our boy? Motherfucker! Grahatia comes in with some new digs, some tats, a fucking new stuff, and I yelled for the scars, our boy, and now he becomes another scion. He becomes a scion of the Seventh Dawn with us, and I was so happy.
Snooze fest. Bored. I knew that was gonna happen. Did you have any doubt in your mind that was not gonna happen?
Well, from the last episode, yeah, I did have doubt, but I also I was on mixed feelings. I'm like, oh, I know they're gonna fuck me over, and and I did say last time I was on the show, or predictions of who will die, and I did say Crystal Exarch. Technically, he did die.
Yeah, he did.
But Hartia obviously gained all the memories from the Crystal Exarch, and
yeah.
That was right.
Yeah, I was gonna save that for last, but we can save Alice for last because she's obviously the better twin and everything. So yeah, Grahati is back. He's becoming a scion, and then at that point, one of the townsfolk in Mordana runs to the town square, yelling about hippogriffs attacking people, and then Alice jumps right out of her chair to go help because, like I said, she was bored. She wants something to do. She needs to feel useful.
Then everyone started going. Everyone's like, then fucking Yustola threw the cartridges at Thanker. Thanker was like, hell yeah, I'm out of here.
Except for
and
Alphino, didn't he just sit there and read his book?
No, I think
The
he went.
fucking
No,
bump on the
no.
log he
Yeah,
is.
No, he did because when Alizé jumped, and he like looked over like, oh god, and then he ran off down the stairs because he took the civil route.
He probably just stayed there reading.
Probably. And then obviously, Miss Yustola was like, you know what? I'll join them in a bit. But I'm gonna finish my tea.
Yeah, Icarus says he ran after Alizé. Chili says he slowly walked. I'm gonna go with he probably slowly walked. He's gonna get there. He's gonna get there right in time after everyone did all the work, and he's like, "Oh, we did it all, team. Great group job that I definitely had a part of."
It was good. I was really happy about it because the animations were good. I feel like I'm happy I was wrong that no one stayed because they would have died. So I'm kind of happy with that.
Yeah, I hope Y'shtola does find a way back because I do like her and Runar.
I hope Thancred does as well because Thancred wants to go see Reen.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we find a way in between. Reen can come here, Thancred can go there, Runar and Y'shtola. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That's why I don't think we're going to see much of Y'shtola in the next expansion or in many of the obviously patches coming up. So I think she's going to try and put most of her efforts on trying to find a way back.
You know why I'm not expecting them to do anything with that though is because they never reuse old assets. We're just gonna forget about it, like it never happened.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. What's her face? She was in Storm's Blood, but she got put in prison.
Oh, Fordola,
yeah.
Oh yeah, my girl.
We could have had a whole good stuff with her of how
my girl
as well. Yeah, I liked her. She was cool.
She was the best part of Storm.
Yeah, she was badass.
So yeah, that's kind of Square Enix's thing. We're going to save all these people, never to use them again.
Pretty much.
So
but
it's not that I want everyone to die. My point is, if you're going to save someone, let's have a use for them afterwards. What have we really used Nanamo after her fake death? What are you going to use Baby Grahatia for? Are we just gonna forget about him and he's never going to make an appearance again?
He's coming with us on our next adventure, so aka the next expansion.
Is he?
Yeah.
We'll see.
I promised him, unless you didn't promise him. I promised him. I promised my boy he's coming with me.
We'll see what Square Enix does with him.
I'm with Icarus on this one. We're gonna do stuff with Fordola in the next expansion. I think we're gonna use her. I think we're gonna use her because she also has fake Echo. So
we better. My girl.
I definitely think.
All we got is like a little story with her.
It wasn't a little story. She was she was in it throughout the Stormblood's Alamegan parts. But I did feel sorry for her because obviously, you know.
I'm saying we got like the little story outside of the game that was just like posted on the lodestone of her like getting out of jail and she was like rounding up the Malja type people. I forget what they were called. But yeah, so the last scene we get is I guess setting up the next patch.
In Garlemald.
They didn't even do the meanwhile though this time.
Where was the cool narrator voice coming in with the meanwhile? I'm upset, Square Enix.
I'm like, why? Of all the things to change, that's what you changed? Okay. But we have Xenos and Hooded Figure, which ends up being, guess what it is? More Ascians.
More fucking Ascians.
It's Damn Daniel, Fan Daniel. I don't even know what to think of this. Like, I'm so fucking tired of Ascians.
Damn, we need something new. I know we're gonna obviously Xenos, he's back and all that shit, but I know we're gonna have a fight. And Chili was wrong about something, by the way. It wasn't. It wasn't him that killed Elidibus. It was us and the Crystal Exile. Just saying, you got something wrong.
So it looks like this new Ascian Fan Daniel is in Asai's body, which is the brother to Tsukiyomi Tsuyu.
I actually had someone. This is how bad Stormblood was. because I had someone in chat say, I don't know who that body is. I don't know who that is. And I'm just like, it's Tsukiyomi's brother. It's and they're like, I still don't remember him. And I'm
Well,
like,
he
see,
also
that's how bad Stormblood was, because
Yeah.
it's not rememberable.
he also kind of looked like that guy who was doing the fake echo experiments.
Yeah, true. The doctor.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely Acai. I don't really have much speculation on this. I was kind of fucking over it by the time we got to it. I'll probably have more opinions on this in the coming weeks. Any strong opinion on this? I'm tired of Xenos. I hope they wrap Xenos up in the 0.4 and 0.5 parts of the patch, and we have something brand new for Garlemald.
You think he's not going to be in the main expansion of next?
I hope not.
You think he's just going to be like lead up story to it, and we're just going to kill him off straight away?
I don't expect them to do that, but I want them to do that.
Yeah, I kind of want something new, because obviously we had him. He was like the main bad guy in Stormblood, so
yeah. Because imagine if like everything in Shadowbringers had been something from Stormblood, it probably wouldn't have made as much of an impact. It's the fact that we had new characters to learn and get their stories with. If it's just Xenos, I don't know what they're gonna do with him.
Yeah, it's like all he wants to do is fight us. That is literally his
He's
point.
just got a hard on for us because he's never been late. He's a virgin,
apparently. And also, what? I'm sorry if your name's Daniel, but Fan Daniel as a fucking Asian name.
Agreed.
What the fuck is that name? Like, that is nowhere near intimidating or even. You just sound like Fandango from wrestling. If anyone's a wrestling fan, that's what he sounds like. Fandango. You're like, who? Why?
And then I guess, as you alluded to, we have baby Grahatia. Time to adventure. He's gonna be coming with us.
Graha, my boy, my baby boy.
So
hot.
Overall, I say this was not as strong as the 5.0 expansion to begin with. I think it's maybe better than some of the in-between patches. But yeah, I think the 0.0 expansion is always the better story.
I definitely think this expansion of how it finished was way better than any others. Of how it finished kind of happy and light. But I always see the story of how it made me feel. And obviously I did get feelings for this game, so I thought, I think, it's pretty good. The patch is still shit. I don't enjoy the patch. I will say that because there was nothing to do in the patch, technically.
See, I have more of an issue with that than your take on the story at all.
Yeah, the story was good for me. I enjoyed it. I liked how it ended. I liked the animations. The storytelling was nice. Still better than Stormblood could ever be. Just from this one patch was better than Stormblood in a nutshell. Just one patch.
I really like the beginning of Stormblood. I think they made a mistake by going so hard into Kugani in the second half.
Kugani? No, I like the Doman part. The Doman part was good.
No, I didn't like the Doman part. I like the fucking Alamigo part.
I prefer the Doman part than I think the Alamigan was just bad, but that's because I just don't like Lise. And it was... I know, they split it up. It began with Alamigo, and then it went to Doma, and then it came back to Alamigo. I wish it kind of like...
But I never really feel like it came back to Alamigo. It just went from Alamigo to Doma, and we never came back to deal with the consequences of everything that happened.
Well, we are. We're going to see that in the next expansion, technically. Because we're going back to Garlemald and fighting Garlemald. It's basically going to be Stormblood 2.0.
We will see. And Icarus, I see you on deck, but we are running a little bit long tonight. We will be continuing this conversation when Avi gets back, so we will hear her thoughts on the MSQ. So please call in during that. We can take your thoughts on that. But Paul, unless you have any final thoughts on the MSQ, I think we're going to get to a little bit of listener response.
I'm good. I'm happy.
You're good?
I was good with that.
Okay, so I had a little bit of response to that tweet I tweeted out earlier about if you cried or you did not. As you may recall, I said it was about 2/3 did cry, 1/3 did not. Jilly said, I felt sad. but I didn't cry. So 1 on the not cry. Kooky, who joined us as a guest host last week, said, "Why were people sad? I didn't get it." So another 2 didn't cry. In response to that, 0 said, "Compared to other expansions, Heaven's Ward still the first in terms of feels because the deaths still impact us all to this day. Shadowbringers is second because it gave us a chance to experience what our enemies are feeling and we feel for them. Plus, seeing Exarch death is just sad face."
It's just sad face.
Just sad
Also,
face.
he shouldn't have really put that because obviously that was just a big spoiler. So whoever kind of read that, I do feel sorry. That should have been like a spoiler tag. And
I feel like if I'm tweeting out about did it make you cry, that should be a spoiler tag in itself. Reisna, who you mentioned earlier, said, "I shed many tears and my heart rate spiked several times. The highest was 163 beats per minute." Reisna was right there with you, Paul.
Yeah, do you know what? Because she is a Grahatia fangirl and stan, like I am. She has a shit ton, and I mean a literal shit ton, of Crystal Exarch and Grahatia dolls, pictures, memorabilia, and yeah.
Okay.
So, from that point of all,
Foxy FFXIV said, "I found it to be very lackluster. For me, it didn't hold up to the quality of the rest of the story leading up to it."
Okay, well, fuck you, Foxy.
I think it might not have held up to 5.0, but I think it definitely held up to 0.1 and 0.2. But to each their own. Mr.
Sorry that I said fuck you to you, by the way, Foxy. If you ever do listen to this, I'm sorry, but it was a what do you call them? It was a just defense mechanism. There we go.
There you go. Send your hate mail to cowboy69 at Moogle Go Round Radio.com. Mr. Arosina says, "I thought more was going to happen based on other creators' reactions. Enjoyable nonetheless, so no real complaint. Brought us some amusing cutscenes." I think that's probably about where I was. Except I didn't watch anyone's reaction beforehand. Slime Blight says, "Not to be rude, but it was incredibly predictable. Especially with the ending, so dry eyes here." I agree it was predictable. Yeah. Nothing really shocked me in this.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
And I enjoyed it, but I have to say it wasn't...
I didn't want to believe it would be predictable because I don't think that much on it. I was like, it was a good story. I enjoyed it. I didn't feel like I predicted it because I didn't predict any of it. Yeah. Actually, my predictions were all wrong. So, so see... I probably like
out of the big things, I think it was pretty predictable. Elidibus was gonna die. Grahatia was gonna live.
Yeah.
Grahatia
thing, I was like 50-50 on.
Narkill said, "Out of all the things that choked me up, biggest hurt came from Seto's scene."
Yes, I love you. Yes, that's the exact same how I felt.
And I think out of all the scenes, that probably was the most emotional, most impactful. With that being said, thank you, everyone. Now it's time for the Community Roundup, partner. So I want to open this up to our amazing guest host, Paul Metal from Moogle Go Round. Where can we find you? What do you have going on? I know you got many projects going on.
I don't have many, but I have been streaming all this week on Moogle Go Round Radio on Twitch. Because Chili has took a break, but I'm usually there around the weekend and Mondays. I also do a podcast, Moogle Go Round Radio, where I do it with Chili. I think everyone probably knows Chili because he's here more than I am. Well, yeah, he's here more than I am, and you can find that over at Podbeam. There's like, I don't know the whole thing out, but you can find that. Just go to Twitch. Just go to Twitch. Our Twitch is just Moogle Go Round Radio. Go there. All the links are under it. Even She Heals I Tanks links are under there for some reason.
And I will link everything for Moogle Go Round Radio in the show notes if you've never caught them before. Paul, you also have a magic podcast as well?
I do a kind of small thing. I didn't do it this week because obviously I was busy leveling Bard for my raid team, so I couldn't get to do it. But I do a knowledgeable magical lore where I talk about different types of magic and different types of games and compare them. Our last one was Frost Magic. That was very lackluster because I couldn't find any lore on it because there was none in any other games. It was just WoW and then a little bit of Warhammer.
Well,
it was annoying. It was very annoying to try and find it.
Be links to all of that in the show notes. That is going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much to Paul Metal from Moogle Go Round Radio. As always, we have enjoyed hanging out with you all here live on Twitch, so thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you know next time we will go live. And a big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or whatever app you choose to consume your shit on. You really are the reason we keep making episodes. And remember, wherever you do listen, it would mean a shit ton of us if you gave our little shit podcast a rating or review, or, just told a friend to check us out. Here with Paul Metal, I'm Vegan Pete, and I will talk to you next week. And who knows, maybe Paul will too if Avi's still gone.
Maybe.
Thank you, Paul.